Oh, you'd thought I'd given up on Collection Lock? Never. In the last episode of Collection Lock, I finally got the Eye of Sulfuras, meaning I now have to actually craft Sulfuras' Hand of Ragnaros. Now for those that missed the memo, I'm trying to get everything without using the auction house, meaning I have a lot of mining to do. To get Blood of the Mountain, I needed to mine dark iron deposits in Molten Core and Blackrock Depths, whereas for arcane crystals, which are used to make Arcanite, I would need to mine Thorium veins. There's a chance of getting them from the Anubisaf poops in Anchorage, but the Thorium veins have the highest drop rate. I also kept running Blackwing Lair. There are no mining nodes in there, but there is a chance to get arcane crystals from the Yellow Sack of Gems, if it drops. So far it hasn't, but I can hope. And you know what? Even if I didn't get the regents I needed, it was still worth running every raid. After all, I actually completed the Shaman tier set from Blackwing Lair. And you know those left bindings of the Windseeker that we said we weren't going to worry about? Okay, so I didn't actually get them. My good friend Mikey got them, but he very generously traded them to me. I'm not going to worry too much about actually crafting Thunder Fury, because I feel like trying to do both legendaries at once will be immensely frustrating, especially since they both need Arcanite. But knowing what my next project is going to be is really reassuring. So, small wins aside, this month was really just a lot of gathering. I get that it's not particularly interesting to watch, so to summarize our progress, we originally needed 8 Sulfuran ingots, 20 Dark Iron bars, 10 Blood of the Mountain, and 50 Arcanite bars. And by the end of the month, I had my 8 Sulfuran ingots and 20 Dark Iron bars, meaning I only needed to worry about the super rare Blood of the Mountain drops, and finding 50 arcane crystals for our Arcanite bars. Smelting the Dark Iron bars was actually a pretty interesting experience. I didn't realise that the recipe came from one of the very bosses you defeat in Blackrock Depths. Yep. Turns out it comes from Gloomrel. If you give him 20 gold bars, 10 true silver bars, and 10 star rubies, he will tell you all his dwarf secrets. From there, you just run around the corner to the Black Forge, and provided you've got all your ore already, you can smelt away. And all that smelting got me to level 300 classic mining. It's not the level 300 classic blacksmithing that I want, but it is another new achievement. And because I had got the enchanted Elementium recipe drop months ago, Toledo can smelt almost every bar possible, which will make crafting Thunder Fury 1,000 times easier. Though I will need a lot of Arcanite bars to do that. But that's what Mooderer is for. So naturally, I also made sure to keep leveling her alchemy. It doesn't make getting the arcane crystals any easier, but a win is still a win. Chat also convinced me to make a gathering character, Flower Basket, a Night Elven Druid who specialises in herbalism and mining for the most optimal gathering experience. I didn't actually use her that much because Toledo was already a skilled miner and it would take time to level her up, but I promise Flower Basket will be prominently featured in the coming months. That said, I did take the time to take Flower Basket through Exile's Reach, and after communing with nature, I finally completed the Alliance side Druid quest. I'll still have to do this on a Horde character later, but it's a little bit more progress towards completing Exile's Reach, and as we all know, every little helps.
Hang on a second. That's Asda, not Tesco.
And then we have Brewfest. We also had Pirates Day, but unfortunately I missed that. And because I also missed most of the Midsummer Fire Festival earlier this year, I made an effort to at least do the Corundaya Brew dungeon once a day on Toledo. And it paid off. I got the Great Brewfest Kodo mount off stream. I also got the Brewfest armor for the renewed Proto-Drake, which will make my Dragonflight grind just ever so slightly easier when I get there in like 20 years time. And I got Dire Brew's remote. This is one thing I really wanted. Everything else I can come back for next year, but the remote is going to make traveling to Blackrock Depths and Molten Core so much quicker. It's going to save me a ton of time as I continue on my quest for 10 Blood of the Mountain, which again, I need to craft Sulfuras. And I made sure to complete a few achievements. I wanted to complete Taste Like Chicken, which is rewarded for eating 50 different foods, and It's Happy Hour Somewhere, which requires 25 drinks, and Strange Brew, which only needs you to purchase each of the different brews available at Brewfest. Now, I did mess up slightly and I actually missed the Barley Brew Light the first time around, but don't worry, I did go back and I got it as soon as I realised. And as always, we wrap up the episode with a visit to the trading post. After much deliberation, I settled on 2 new mounts, the Cinder-Plumed Highland Griffin and the Ornery Breeze Strider. This left me with an awkward amount of tenders, so for the first time ever, I'm not spending all of them. I did, however, decide to at least get a new transmog. With me focusing so heavily on gathering regions for the Eye of Sulfuras, I've made less visible progress, leaving me at 3.41%. That said, I think this is likely to change. As holiday events come and go, along with new content constantly being added to the game, the percentage does tend to shift slightly. Last month I was at 2.99%, but once Brewfest started it knocked me right down to 2.42%. That's 0.5% lost just because an event started. I managed to gain this back over the course of the month, but I am realising seeing my score fluctuate as new content is released for Midnight is going to be an interesting experience. And remember, if you want to see more content relating to player housing or the Midnight Beta, you can follow me at twitch.tv/ArchmageSar. I'm very much a community-led streamer, which means you get to make the decisions about what I do. So if you're curious about something and you don't have beta access, feel free to pop into chat and let me know.